50 people shot. Whoa, 58 people shot. 8 people deleted, killed, and over 50 people injured by gunfire in Chicago over Labor Day weekend. 58 people affected, 58 casualties of gun violence in Chicago over one holiday weekend. The people of Chicago, as usual, come out. The violence has to stop. We have to do something about these gangs. We have to do something about this violence. The mayor of Chicago, the black mayor who everyone voted for just because he's black, continues to do nothing but blame the violence, the senseless violence, on the lack of jobs for the youth in the YNs in Chicago. And so finally, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, has had enough of this crap and says, look, man, I sent the National Guard into D.C. Now the black folks in D.C. are singing the praises of Donald Trump. I'm watching videos on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube of African Americans talking about how for the very first time in years, they could take their children out at night to go and see the beautiful monuments, the historical monuments that Washington, D.C. is home to, without having to worry about Pookie, Ray Ray, Gloctavius, Kool-Aid Andrea, Watermelandria, Bonquisha, Poop Nene, whatever name they got, victimizing their family. It's crazy to me how people can be prisoners within their own community. Fight and argue against a person who presents a solution, but then express absolute elation when they finally experience the very thing that they've been fighting against or voting against for decades. Now we have the same situation playing out in Chicago. Could you imagine going to work on Friday and you know you're going to have a 3-day weekend, but you also know that between 50 and 100 people in your city are going to be killed due to senseless violence that is bound to occur over these holiday weekends? Could you imagine that? Remember when you was a kid, you go to school, ooh, it's about to be a 3-day weekend. Could you imagine as a child growing up in one of these black communities, Chicago, 3-day weekend for you just mean that you're not going to be able to go outside? Because over the 3-day weekend, your parents know that the violence, the rate of violence is gonna increase just because it's the weekend. But what makes it worse is you finally have someone in the White House who is willing to override your worthless politicians, specifically your mayor and all those aldermen. You have a president who says, no, I'm willing to use government resources to make your community safe for your children. Could you imagine sitting back as a black person and watching the officials that you elected fight against making your community safe enough for your children to go play outside? I swear sometimes I feel like we're living in another dimension until I slap myself back into reality and say, Brandon, what are you talking about? Why would these African Americans want to get rid of the violent element in their community when we thrive on violence, especially senseless acts of violence? We celebrate it. I am telling you right now that there is a significant demographic within Black America that not only praises, worships, and has a thirst for senseless violence. There is a significant contingent among us that literally operates on a level of acute hypocrisy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I literally witnessed that this week. I literally witnessed that this week, where someone who is supposed to be my friend literally tried to gaslight me into doing something that could have jeopardized my safety, all for clicks and views and the pursuit of content. So when I look at the situation in Chicago, when I look at the situation in DC, I said I totally understand that situation, because there is a large number of us who love chaos, who thrive on violence, as long as they are not victims of it. Hold on. Literally, they thrive on it. And the internet has created a situation where this contingent is being exposed. They pretend to be about peace. They call you brother. Hey, brother. I hear that word going around a lot these days. They say, no, we don't want to have violence in our communities. But as soon as you're not around, they thirsty for it. Soon as they see the opportunity to see some violence, they don't care what happens to you or anybody else. They're just like, no, we want to see this because it's entertaining to us. It's people who live in Chicago and DC and these cities, Black folks, they take pride in their city being violent and unlivable. Man, I'm from the most violent area and I'm from the South Side. I'm from the North Side. They're proud of that. Do you realize how stupid you got to be proud of how unlivable your city is? Do you realize how stupid you have to be to celebrate people who commit violence in your community? Do you understand how damn toxic and self-destructive you have to be to criticize the President of the United States when he says, look, your mayor, your police chiefs, they're all indoctrinated in this code of self-destruction, right? They're all in cahoots to profit off of your destruction. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to fix the situation. Do you know how ridiculous you have to be to then go and criticize that person? But here we are. I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching social media. I'm reading articles talking about Trump is trying to target thriving multicultural cities like Chicago. Boy, businesses are running out of Chicago. People are getting killed left and right. You can't even walk downtown in the Loop without experiencing violence. I told one of my friends, man, I would love to live in Chicago. I would love to live in the Loop in Chicago. It is absolutely beautiful. He said, look, you only been here on vacation. Wait till you move here. Wait till you move here and your neighbors start talking about how they got robbed last week. I said, it's like that, dog. It's like that, dog. People getting robbed like that. He said, bro, if you move here, you better watch your back. He said, as a matter of fact, don't move here. You telling me, like my neighborhood where I live, I could walk down the street at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, ain't nothing gonna happen. Worst I'm gonna possibly see is maybe one of these bums that then got high and wandered from the main downtown area. And if the police see him, they picking him up and dropping him back off in the bum area. That's the worst that's going to happen. And that's extremely rare. You can't even live in the city no more without getting robbed. Let alone if you're a young single mother or a father and a mother who's middle class trying to raise a family. Your city is too violent. My cousin, born and raised in Chicago, from the South Side, she had to move her son out of Chicago because some boys wanted to try to hurt him because he just wants to play basketball on the basketball court and mind his own business. He ain't gangbanging. He ain't trying to hurt nobody. Bro just is into sports. That's it. And these boys that knew him since he was young and they was young. They want to try to do harm to this man because he just wants to mind his business. He don't want to be involved in they bull crap. But you got fools who will sit up and defend that nonsense. Trump is bad. The argument, no, dude, I pray that Donald Trump sends the National Guard into Chicago. So at least the kids there can have what they know good dog parents is too damn blind and dumb to give them. Safety. We are past the days where the danger of your city is some type of badge of honor. It ain't no reason to have a gang in Chicago. When the Tren de Aragua and the South American illegal criminal alien migrants came into that motherfucker, took over, had black women hoeing on the corner and was breaking in cars and vandalizing and robbing people, what did those gangs do for the people of Chicago? Here we go, stupidity. So they just wanted to harm him for playing ball. That's cap, bro. It's always three sides to a story. That's exactly why they want to harm him. That's exactly why they want to harm him. He's playing basketball with his ball. They come in, they want to, he was into basketball, like really trying to play like AAU basketball. So he's working out on the court with his ball. Hey, man, we want to play. He's like, oh, man, I'm getting a workout in. They get mad, the little YNs up in the little projects or whatever, because he's actually working at something, so he doesn't have time to mess around with them while they casually trying to do bullshit. Who needs to make up a lie about that? My cousin moved out of Chicago to Indiana because of that. You think somebody's like, I just want to get up and move where I live for my whole life to a whole nother place. 2-hour drive away from my job just because. No one does that. No one does that. But she had to move to protect her son. Or he might have become another casualty like all the boys his age. I think at that time he was 13. In her area. It's senseless. But when the criminal illegal alien migrants came in and was running these niggas up out of town, you didn't see my boy Costanova's from Chicago. You didn't see these thugs, these no good hooligans do a damn thing to stop them. They folded. They folded and watched their kids lose resource after resource so some grown-ass migrant criminal man could have a place to sleep and get free food and free housing. See, people used to say, oh, these gangs, they protect the community. That's a damn lie. 2024, 2023, and 2022 taught you that. The gangs did nothing to protect the people of their community from the influx of criminal alien migrants. Hold on. I went to Chicago. I caught the bus I caught the red line, I think, up to the 90th Street. I think it's 90th Street. Got off, got on the bus, went up to 131st Street or some crazy shit like that. I get out, I'm walking through the damn project. My cousin like, cuz, what the hell are you doing? Don't you know somebody got killed on my back porch last night? How many migrants did how many illegal El Salvadorian gang members did these gangs in Chicago switch down? None. Zero. Oh, 95th Street. Yeah, 95th. Yeah, red line. I think it was the red line. I don't know. I'm asking my cousin right now. I think it was the red line. I caught the bus, rolled through all them damn neighborhoods that look abandoned, all them damn abandoned houses and businesses and buildings looking like trash. She was in Inglewood first, and then in the Art Geld Gardens. Art Geld Gardens. That's where the hoodlums tried to. Man, shit looked like a abandoned shanty town. Worse than shit in Africa. But you got the audacity to want to switch somebody down because it's Labor Day. Boy, I feel like a young man in those neighborhoods should move out of Chicago. Yeah, Art Geld. Is that Harvey? Yeah, Art Geld. Yeah. Is that bad? Hell no, that shit don't look better than Kenya. Use a lot. But Trump is coming in to do what your elected officials refuse to do. You guys still can't get Brandon Johnson out of office. Still. So the president of the United States came up and said, you know what? I'm going to throw y'all a lob. I'm going to send the National Guard in there to clean this mess up so your kids can finally play outside. Would you believe that these damn fools want to fight against Trump? Brandon Johnson signs an executive order to fight against Trump bringing the National Guard into Chicago. You know why? Because now more than ever, it has been proven. It has been proven that Brandon Johnson and all these black men y'all been voted for do not give a damn about y'all children and their safety. They first sold your children out for the illegal criminal alien El Salvadorian migrants, and now they're selling your children out to protect violent, radicalized gang members, bloodthirsty Pookie and Ray Rays. It's like, is there anyone they won't sell you out for at this point? Is there anybody who the politicians of Chicago won't sell Chicagoans out for at this point? Let's pray we don't have to find out.
Welcome back in Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Take a look Today, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson signing an executive order aimed at resisting potential actions of the Trump administration amid fears that the White House will deploy National Guard troops to the city. Chicago city officials saying that they are concerned that the National Guard troops will be deployed to combat crime in the city, and they're also concerned about the potential of more immigration enforcement activity in the Windy City as well. Host of the Strat podcast, Hal Kempfer, still joining me here. Hal, can the city stop the federal government if it wants to? What levers do they have to do such a thing if they can?
Well, honestly, Austin, not much. And it's interesting. I have to tell you, this is more about the press conference, the announcement, the headlines, and a lot less about what they can actually do. Couple of things. Chicago and Washington, D.C. are completely different cities. Washington, D.C. is a federal district. There is a provision within the Home Rule Act which actually gives the president the ability to federalize the police force within Washington, D.C., because it is a federal district. And they have home rule up to a mayor, city council, but they don't have congressmen, they don't have senators, they're not a state. Chicago is in a state under the 10th Amendment. It has sovereign, certain sovereign rights that are incumbent upon a state. It is a city within that state. It is a declared sanctuary city. And so he's put this initiative. First off, he says that he won't allow them to federalize the Chicago Police Department. I don't know of any method, legal method or whatever, where the federal government could actually federalize the Chicago Police Department. It's just not something that they can do there. So I just found that to be rather interesting that he said that, but it means completely nothing as far as I'm concerned in terms of structural capability to do that. They are talking about moving in there's been discussion about rolling in the National Guard. He's kind of, Mayor Brendan Johnson's kind of making it look like the Guard is going to come in and patrol the city and stuff. Again, different than Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., federal district. There's different rules because it's federal territory. Chicago is not. And so they can't go in there and say back up local police department in doing certain things because there's been no request to do so. And the only way the president could do that would be to declare the Insurrection Act. And at that point, the military federalized military could come in and actually do some law enforcement actions. I don't know of any plan to invoke the Insurrection Act on Chicago, but it is a sanctuary city. There is a plan to do a lot of immigration enforcement. They are opening up a camp just north of an immigration detention facility, I should say, just north of Chicago on the Great Lakes Naval Facility. I've actually been there. I actually trained their staff on doing crisis action planning. So I'm pretty familiar with that base. There is room there to do some stuff. So he's doing a lot of these things that they don't quite fit in a Chicago context like they fit in a DC context. And he's kind of making a connective analogy. And he says they're going to try and do stuff legally that can obstruct the deployment of National Guard troops or military troops in Chicago, and also block some of this immigration enforcement. And that's where it gets really interesting. If he does something where the police department is actively stopping federal law enforcement or stopping the lawful deployment of federalized military troops in Chicago, I don't know, but I can tell you that lawyers at the White House will probably be looking at that and say, did he just do something that falls under the provisions of insurrection, and could the president declare the Insurrection Act? Nobody's talked about that yet, but I will say that within this initiative that he's just talked about, he's kind of opened a door, and it's going to, it's not so much what they're saying, it's what they're going to do. And if they do stuff like put up roadblocks or do something else, or heaven forbid, something kinetic, which would be, I just have to say, that'd be the dumbest thing for a city to do ever, would be to fight federal law enforcement or federal troops. I just can't imagine that happening. But just the language alone, I almost get the sense that if there was some intent to impose the Insurrection Act, that Mayor Johnson may have just kind of walked into a trap if there was ever any intent to do so. And I'm not saying there is, but that part of it really disturbed me when I saw that part where they said they're going to obstruct what's going on there, because the president can send federalized troops into Chicago. He can't use them for law enforcement, but he can. They can secure buildings, do all sorts of stuff, just like they did in Los Angeles. That was legal. Wasn't politically popular in the state or the city, but it was legal.
Live look at one of the most heavily visited tourist sites in the Windy City. Looks like our images spot.
Okay, so I think we got the sound should be better now. I didn't have my interface plugged up, but thank goodness the webcam mic was picking me up. So we're all good. Listen, guys, listen. The whole thing about this is the fact that Donald Trump is threatening to send the National Guard into Chicago. That tells you that there is a problem with the violence in Chicago. Not only that, the fact that you have over 50 people getting switched down over Labor Day weekend. There was one point where there were like 80 people getting killed every weekend in Chicago through gun violence, getting shot or killed. The fact that you have this situation says that there is either a lack of effort on the part of law enforcement and the local authorities, the local politicians or local government to do something about it, or they are unable to handle the crime in the city. Why would you be signing executive orders, risking your political future to stop Donald Trump? Nothing Donald Trump is trying to do is going to hurt the city of Chicago. It's only going to help Chicago. Did they go to the people? What do y'all think about it? No. Willing to sell the people out and let the people live in misery just so that they can remain loyal to the Democrat Party that is in total chaos, that has proven that they have no good ideas, no good policies, no strategy, no desire to help the American people. The only thing they desire to do is take your money through donations and then go to all these corporations and figure out who gonna be the highest bidder for them to sell you out to. Don't send the troops. Don't send the troops. But they'll keep telling you, well, we're the ones who care. We care about you. We want what's best for you. They don't give a damn about the people. They don't give a damn about the people in that city. As long as you keep paying taxes. So that they'll have money to throw at whatever harebrained scheme the Democrat Party comes up with next in the next 4 years. That's it. Brandon Johnson sitting around like his approval rating isn't at 26%. Yeah, and that's probably artificially inflated. That doesn't even factor all the people who just aren't going to participate. I've never got a political call for a survey or nothing in my whole life. He doesn't care what his approval rating is sitting at. All Brandon Johnson cares about is being a willing shield for the Democrat Party. That is it. I don't know why they do that.
The mayor of Chicago.
When we seen all the black politicians whose political careers were casualties to the harebrained ideas of the Democrat Party. At this point in America, to be a black Democrat as a politician or a public servant, it's literally career suicide. It's career suicide because they think of all these bad ideas and they try to throw black folks up there to run and campaign for these bad ideas. And then they lose, and now they're out of the mix. Look at Jamal Bowman. Look at Nina Turner. Look at the other guy who was the leader of the House Democrats. I forgot his name, but he was just on the Breakfast Club. It's just like, okay, who's going to take this? Like, who's going to fall on the sword for the party for this bad idea? Who's going to throw away their political career for this bad idea? and all the white Democrats look at the black Democrats. Which one of y'all about to make a sacrifice for the party? But then you see the white Democrats, they still there. They still there. Look at Summer Saunders. Look at her. You literally gain nothing supporting these people. Your kids are less safe. Your community is less safe. Your career is in jeopardy. You see all these black folks getting laid off, these women especially crying all over TikTok. What do you gain? What do you gain from it? Nothing. But that's what black folks is used to. We love giving a whole lot of something for a little bit of nothing. Let's tap into this.
The mayor of Chicago is warning President Trump not to send National Guard troops to the city. Meanwhile, some former top health officials are sounding the alarm about Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Correspondent Torian Small has the latest from the White House.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago.
At a Labor Day event, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson blasted the Trump administration's possible plans to send in the National Guard to the Windy City to help reduce violent crime.
We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago.
Before leaving the White House to play golf, President Trump posted on social media Monday praising the mayor of Washington, D.C., where he deployed National Guard troops and urged officials in Chicago and other cities to do the same. The Trump administration is also receiving new pushback in the wake of last week's shakeup at the CDC. Following the firing of CDC Director Susan Menarez and departure of several other top officials, 9 former directors and acting directors of the agency wrote an op-ed published in the New York Times Monday. The group of both Republicans and Democratic appointees raised concerns about Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s oversight of the department and the CDC.
Trump, RFK Jr., these guys are tearing down all these fake. They're basically getting rid of all these people, these radicals who have infiltrated the institutions of America. And so what they do to try to combat that is we're going to call into question his ability to lead and to reason and govern and reason on the facts. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? These people are delivering no results. Something come around, some crazy virus. What's going to? Oh, we don't know. We don't know. They telling you they don't know why they over here working a back alley deal with a pharmaceutical company to make some type of vaccine or shot for something they don't even know about. With the Democrats, it's all business, and they're not even good at doing business. So it just becomes like a what is it called? A slush fund. A bunch of money and hoarded into a department for everybody to come and pilfer. It's bad. It's bad. And what's sad is these people, they told us for the past 4 years, us who were sounding the alarm, they told us we were wrong. They told us, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You're conspiracy theorists. That's what they said. That's what they said. But then now that they have nothing to lose, now the truth is coming out. Now the truth is coming out. Oh, we got nothing to lose, so we might as well just tell the truth. Even somebody like Charlemagne the God. The guy was a straight shill for Democrats. He was a straight shill for Democrats. Now he's out here calling out everything that we have been calling out for 4 years with Joe Biden. But you know what's going to happen the next election cycle? You know what's going to happen? He gonna get on the pot again. and tell you how you should support the Democrats no matter what they do. No matter what they do, because they're better than Trump. Oh, we're living in an authoritarian, bro. How can
we
you
all
call
lost
something
during the Biden years because
while you were defending something that was authoritarian? And then once it didn't have success, now you want to say, oh, I'm calling it out. Too little, too late. What if this lady, this crazy woman, had got into office? Then what was you gonna do? You were gonna be quiet. You were gonna be a good little boy and collect your check, every check you could from the new administration. Let me play this clip and then I'm gonna start letting y'all in. Let me give y'all this link to call in. You was gonna play quiet for 4 years as she tanked this country, and then say, "Well, it wasn't me. I was calling it out." Let's check this out. This is where he was going after the former DNC chair. Hold on, let me get here. Right here. All right.
I'm the DNC chair. What power do I have to pick? Like, people say, well, you could have told Joe Biden to not run. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Yo,
You could have said that.
I could have.
Nobody was against him during that time.
You could have and should have.
You're not beholden to them no more.
No, it's not about being beholden to them. I'm
That
telling
man
you the
was
truth.
too old. Everybody knew he was too old.
But Charlamagne,
he should have been a transitional president from the beginning.
Charlamagne, I get all of that. But you know what? Somebody should have stepped up. If people thought that Joe Biden was too old, then some real people should have stepped up and said, you know what, I'm going to run.
that guy had not interacted with President Biden. I mean, he's the DNC.
Somebody should have stepped up. Somebody should have ran. Bro, people tried to run. The Democrat Party in many states said that they were not going to hold a primary. That was preventing everyone. That was preventing damn near anybody from challenging Biden for the presidency. But you see how they do? Well, somebody should have ran. Somebody should have stepped up. You guys prevented people from stepping up. You guys prevented people from stepping up. And then later on going to say, well, somebody should have, Jamie Harris, going to say, somebody should have ran. Come on, Jamie. Y'all literally refused to hold a primary so no one could run. I'm telling you, these people think that we are dumb. They really believe that we are dumb. Charlamagne think, oh man, I'm going to call this stuff out after the fact. And everyone's going to think I'm on the side of the people. This is how dumb he thinks people are. But we remember when you let Joe Biden disrespect you to your face, telling you you're not black if you don't vote for him, and you said nothing. You still got out there for Biden, telling all of black, you need to vote for Biden because Trump's an authoritarian. But the guy who you voted for was putting people under lockdown. We're not ever going to forget. Thanks to the internet, we will never forget. And if you act like you forgot, you deserve every damn thing you get. Let me get these super chats and then we're going to get into this discussion. Shout out to my people for coming through in a major way. Comma classical. I don't care about fades, cuz I like Brandon for common sense, wisdom, knowledge, politics, spiritual. You still my cuz. Fuck that street shit. Bro, listen, man. I'm out here giving master classes on situational awareness. When you show up somewhere and the shit look like a setup and the motherfuckers you with really ain't with you, all you got to do is exit stage left. It don't matter what nobody think. It don't matter what nobody think. Oh, you took an L. Didn't know. You know who took an L? Draco the ruler took an L. Because he thought he was with a bunch of niggas that was with him, but they wasn't. The list goes on and on. Oh, you took L. No. These rappers getting killed thinking that they with solid people around them. Those are the people taking the L. Because they went in without situational awareness. They went in thinking they was riding with that, like thinking that the people they was with was gonna ride from. Y'all mad at me because I'm from the streets and I could smell something fishy from a mile away. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all mad at me because I could smell something fishy from a mile away. Oh, you should have did it. You should do that. So we can put you on a shirt. The hell? My brother Jughead, thank you so much. Common Classical, thank you for the $20 holler. My boy the Jughead, greetings, Brandon. I'm afraid you are correct again. Minister Farrakhan, I do not agree with all he has said and done. Warn Black America that if Black America did not pull its act together, something like this would happen. 100%. If you don't get your community in order, someone else will. And they're going to get it in order their way. And once they get it in order their way, you're going to have no say. And guess what? Everybody's going to say, I don't want you guys to have a say because you guys had an opportunity to fix this years ago, for years and decades. But instead of fixing it, you chose to be silent accomplices. Common Classical, I'm telling you, cuz I told you, fuck that street ish. Use no jumper to get your name out here, but run for office in Long Beach. You too old. I am too old. But I'm not too old for a little jujitsu and a little MMA, which is all I'm doing. I ain't running the streets talking about, yeah, I'm trying to gang bang on somebody. That would be stupid. I wouldn't encourage anyone to do that. All fades and all that shit should take place inside of gyms and MMA gyms and dojos, in my opinion. We should be running this shit like the Last Dragon. Oh, you want to fight somebody? Go down to the dojo and go get it in. That is the way the culture needs to shift. That's the way the culture needs to shift. Oh, y'all got an issue? Let's go down to the local MMA spot, the local Muay Thai gym, and go in there and get it in. Hop in the ring and punch each other with gloves on. That's what I'm advocating for. Because to me, I feel like that's the only way you're going to keep it remotely peaceful and everybody's going to go home at the end of the day and make it home to their family. And that's what I thought we were doing. But when I got there and saw that it was something else, I was out. All right, man. It ain't what you said it was. I'm out. The hell I look like driving 45 minutes to go fight a street fight with a motherfucker I never even met. Who, when I get there, is clearly on methamphetamines. All right, guys. We thank you, Common Classical, for the $10 holler. I appreciate that, my brother. Man, you watch my channel, you gonna learn something. Cause I ain't out here clout chasing and trying to gaslight people for clicks and views. I'm gonna educate you and help you with what I know. Either I'm an educator, educate you with the things I know, or validate you because you already know the things I know, and you here because you're looking for kindred spirits and people who share the same mindset as you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. What the hell is this? All right, anyway. Administrator, go ahead, my brother.
Hey, what's up, bro? Can you hear me all right?
Sounding great.
Yeah, man. I think Brandon doesn't want people to see where Chicago's resources really should be going the time being. Because while murders and stuff is down a little bit, we're still at 270 something. You know what I'm saying? And year after year, you could go to the crime in Chicago on Wikipedia. 581 one year, 621 the other year, 715 murders the next year, 805 the year before that. Everybody on here that's from Chicago, they have people that's in their family that's a part of these numbers. And we'll still say, Yeah, nah, don't send the army. We don't need nothing like that. But yet, when you actually talk to people that really do live in Chicago right now, I mean, especially the older ones too, they welcome the army. They welcome the army in because it showed results in DC. If you can go 2 weeks without people dying, that is lives saved. And whoever argues that, I'd love to hear a good argument.
You know there ain't no good arguments. The only argument is Trump is a racist. He's sending their race soldiers. They don't got an argument. They just can't accept it because the Democrat cult that they're a part of is telling them not to. That's it.
Right. Even if the army being there just means that the murders go down while they're there, and as long as they're there, that's still people's safety being greatly increased that otherwise wasn't.
Even the National Guard being there, even if that just makes the hood boogers avoid the loop in downtown area for a couple of weeks, you know crime is going to be down.
They need to do a heavy recruiting push while they're there.
Big time. We might have to create another law enforcement agency that does have the power to go into these cities and enforce the law. See, there has to be some type of, shout out to Flacco. There has to be some type of way to hold law enforcement accountable, because law enforcement is, they love trying to act like they're beholden to the city officials until it's about their pension, or until it's about some corrupt cop getting off for doing something he shouldn't have done.
There's always something adversarial between the city office and the police.
Oh yeah, and then the chief. I remember my city, some shit went down, and I had went to meet with the chief of police and the mayor, and the chief sat at that table and said, "We don't answer to the mayor of Long Beach." I said, "Wait, the police department don't answer to the mayor of Long Beach?" He said, "We sure don't, but let it be about enforcing the law. Let it be about why y'all ain't showing up to these calls. All of a sudden, well, the mayor told us this and that." They just don't want to do it. Who doesn't want to go to work and get paid for doing a little bit of nothing? That's the nature of people. So if they can get away with doing nothing, that's exactly what they're going to do. Nothing. There has to be some accountability. They've removed the power of the citizen over law enforcement. In a way, they've even removed it from being over elected officials, because many Chicagoans wanted to get rid of Brandon Johnson. There's like some shit on the books where they can't even get rid of him.
Right. Bro, 2022, for instance, 715 murders. My cousin was one of them, bro. He was sitting in his car. A lot of people would just be sitting in their car, which you should not do in Chicago. Do not just be sitting in your car. But if the army was on the streets, he may not have died that night.
No.
A lot of people getting shot in public, bro, on the sidewalk, in the street.
This is what happens, because a lot of these criminals, they know the law better than the lawyers. They know, hey, if I only do this crime, it's going to be like catch and release.
Most people are perfectly fine with doing 10 years.
5. Right now in LA, go ahead.
But to be honest, most of them not even getting true time like that. They're not even doing 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so this is why I always push that Chicago, we have to reform the justice system in order to get the results that we need. Because most of the time, these guys are getting locked up, and they're getting released with no bond, or they're just going downstate and doing 2-3 years and coming back home.
A 5-year period where it's a death penalty. No exceptions.
You say what again?
For a 5-year period, bring the death penalty for murder, no exceptions.
So my only pushback on that is because when we did it before as a state, we had so many innocent individuals that were killed on death row.
And there was innocent people in the streets getting killed.
What state?
Illinois.
Bro, y'all didn't have a bunch of innocent people getting killed.
We did. So we actually ended up paying out quite a bit, and the Innocence Project was actually leading a lot of that investigation. And they realized a lot of these people that was on death row. So you got like the John Burge torture. I don't know if you're familiar with that case, but he ended up getting a lot of people convicted or having them confess to crimes that they did not do.
Right, but this is now like a lot of these crimes are on camera and stuff, bro. Like,
oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
this ain't the old days where one lady said, "Oh, I thought I saw."
No, that's true. That is true. However,
these YNs, listen, man, I just hate the thing where we keep trying to do these like whataboutisms. These YNs are getting caught red-handed. There is no question in these cases who's doing what. In those cases, you can implement the death penalty. In something where it may be iffy or whatever, cool. But senseless acts of violence. I rapped in a song about how I was going to kill this dude, then I went and killed him. Shit like that, man. Death penalty, man. Get your ass out of here, bro. You're just doing it just because.
But it also comes from, a lot of this stems from long-term beef that these young guys don't even know what they beefing about, to be honest with you, right? So when you look at the gangs in Chicago and how many factions of each gang there is, you got G's going against GDs, you got BDs going against BDs, and they all are 2-block radius from each other. You know, they 2 blocks from each other.
These gangs are useless. We learned that with the illegal immigrant situation. These gangs didn't do nothing. These gangs didn't do shit but tuck their tail and let South Americans overrun their communities. Am I lying?
But being honest, bro, none of them have unity. So you can't go to war with 1,000 illegal immigrants and there's only 10 of y'all on one block. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm telling you, that proves that they're useless. The thing that made black people tolerate gang shit for so many years was to some degree, gangs were a protective element within the community, I guess. I've never bought into that, but some people do. We just been proven any South American gang of 20 or more can come into any gang hood in America, any black neighborhood, and have their way.
And that's true, but however, they're under the old law, right? So back in the 90s, when you tore down the structure of the gangs, you also created this disbursement of people amongst neighborhoods that just ran wild, right? Back then, the gangs was under law. They had to report to certain people. They had structure, is all I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying they was always perfect.
There was never structure in gangs. In
Chicago, it was.
No, gangs pretend they have the illusion of structure, bro. People in Chicago was getting killed. People was killing people from their own gangs and all that for as long as forever, bro.
If you want to be, if we're gonna be technical about it, if we're gonna be honest about it, right? So let's talk about this. Let's be honest about it, right? So when they tore down the projects in Chicago, that created more violence amongst the whole city versus these 5 or 6 neighborhoods that it was in. We were able to pinpoint the violence in Chicago into these housing projects. We knew that, hey, over here, the Robert Taylors, the Ickeys, hell, even as you went to the Gardens, you went to All Hill Gardens and saw that how, that's one of the major housing projects in Chicago right now that's suffering from violence, right? So when you tear down those projects and disperse those people amongst the neighborhood, this is where you end up with all this violence everywhere.
I mean, I'm not saying have to be in concentration camps.
Right, but we should also, if we were giving them the proper resources while they were in the projects, then we wouldn't have felt like it was a concentration camp, or we wouldn't have had all this violence once we tore them down.
Let me ask you this. Do you think if when they do let Larry Hoover, when they pardon Larry Hoover, you think anything will change as far as order and stuff like that?
It will not, because he's too far removed. So you have so many different factions. Like I said, you got the GDs going against the GDs. None of these young YNs are going to want to listen to the old guy. You out the way, shorty. Let's think about the outreach work in Chicago. Once you reach past 35, you have no more say-so in the streets. You are considered an unk now because you technically are grandpa age. You get what I'm saying? So he coming home at 75 after 30 years, bro, I don't want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but a lot of us mid-30 people ain't paying these young folks no mind, no either.
Man, forget outreach, police law reach. Man, forget trying to negotiate with them. Listen, man, these kids are highly intelligent. They got the internet. You know what I'm saying? They got the ability to get new information, anything they want to know.
But we need to also get a police the proper resources too, though, Brandon. Let's be honest. As a city, we suck at giving them the proper resources, right?
Elect the right mayor.
the guy who ran against Brandon Johnson, he was a pro law enforcement person. He was working with the Chicago PD. He was good with them. You guys voted against him for that very reason.
Let's not say you guys though. Let's be honest here. Now,
I'm
all
saying
black
the
people in
city.
Chicago didn't vote for
I'm
for
saying you
Brandon.
guys
But
because
most of them
Brandon
do.
Johnson won.
Most of them do, and like I feel like if you take a deeper look, you like having like that much trust in your politicians is like the root cause. It's not your gangs or public housing. Like these politicians have the power to control inner cities, and they still don't do it. Like you look at red states versus blue states. Justice system is messed up in both states, but red states tend to be safer just because they're pro guns, pro police officers, pro peace, like pro security. Like they don't really want to see like janky ass shit 24/7.
They back
on their
up
streets.
their. They
Right.
listen. Red
But
states
let me
are.
say
Wait.
let me
Red
say this.
states are not. Hold on. Red states are not voting for people just because they're black. That's
Yep.
the difference.
Yep.
These people voted again. What was the guy's name? Paul Vallis or John Vallis? What was his name?
Paul. I think it's Paul Vallis.
Paul, right? They voted against this man just because he was white. That he had the better ideas. He had the man. He made total sense. Brandon Johnson was nothing but a product of the corrupt school board. They voted for him just because he was black. Soon as you start voting for people just because they're a certain color, look what happened down in
Totally wrong.
in Thornton. No, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
No. I'm saying that's totally wrong to vote for somebody just for color. I'm agreeing with that.
It's like the same thing that happened with Kamala Harris, and like last year, like nobody gave like Dean Phillips a shot, or like even like older people, like I guess Maxine Walter and the Nancy Pelosi, like there's like other people at the party that have more experience, and they just wanted to put her out there as a token so that anybody that like
they can't
hates
put
Trump,
Maxine Waters. They can't put Maxine Waters or Nancy Pelosi. They way too old. They older than Joe
yeah.
Biden.
And but like even right now, you see people pretty much saying Trump is like a dictator and like Hitler, etc. Even though like they're not even trying to give him a chance. Like they're just willing to blindly back people like Mayor Johnson or people like I think Tiffany Haynard. I think she's also another horrendous example
Corrupt
of like
as hell.
A lot of this stuff is in our control, though.
She shouldn't even be mentioned, to be honest with you. She's not a politician. She was just
not anymore.
a
Not
model.
anymore. Yeah, she has been prosecuted and stuff. But like my whole point is like I just wish like, and I'm not black. I'll be upfront about it. But I just wish similar to how you see like Mexican people, Chinese people, Indian people have like a even split in their party lines. I wish like you could see the same thing with black people so that they take out whoever's in charge. Like if they're not seeing the progress happening,
you're starting to see it. It's just hard in the black community because black people reject you totally if you don't vote against your own best interest. If you don't vote for your kids to live in a drug-infested, crime-infested neighborhood, black people feel like you ain't down with the culture. That's the problem. Go ahead, 223. We're moving right along because we got a lot of people here. Go ahead, 223.
Y'all go ahead. I'm just listening.
A lot of Democrats.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I was saying, I agree with you with a lot of these Democratic shills are terrible. But if you look into their background, a lot of them are from other places. They don't have a connection to our lineage. So they don't really care about the communities. So that's one reason why.
They're like Flacco. Brandon Johnson is black. Brandon Johnson is as black as it is.
I didn't say every single one of them, but if you look at a lot of them are from
Name some
backgrounds.
of them. Name some of them.
You can start with Obama, you idiot.
And Obama is
with
not
a white
even
mom
elected.
and a Kenyan, with a white mom and a Kenyan father.
Man,
and
listen.
people thought he was going to do something for Black America.
Listen, man. The white man who is your fellow foundational black.
We can go to Kamala. We can go to Kamala. Jamaican, East Indian. You see a pattern here, Bucci?
Jim Clyburn.
Everybody always say Clyburn. Yes, we have a coon here and there.
He's the most powerful coon in Washington.
Byron Donald.
You name one person. I could go on and on. Colin Powell. All these motherfuckers got suspect immigrant backgrounds.
Naming people who ain't even around. Ain't Colin Powell dead?
No, I'm giving you history. I mean, Obama's not president no more, but that still doesn't negate.
Well, how does their ancestry matter in terms of their
It does matter because
doesn't.
You don't have a connection to the people that you're even creating policy for.
I get that.
Creating policy
for.
Wait. They're doing the same thing that the people who do have this quote unquote connection are doing. You can't say if
it's very few. It's very few that they even let get in those positions.
Bro,
they don't let many FBA get in those positions.
Are Black Americans straight up to the core, like down to, from the very beginning. They are the worst ones. Jim Clyburn, Nina
you keep
Turner.
saying Clyburn over and over again.
Bro, Nina Turner, Jamal Bowman. These dudes are straight Black. They're straight Black. Your girl, what's her name over there in Texas?
Jasmine Crockett.
Bro, she is straight Black, bro. They're the worst one. Al Green ain't no damn Caribbean descendant. He is Black as he gets.
A lot of them on you just reading off names. I would have to research.
The most powerful.
But when you dig
I've
into
had
them,
this argument.
you'll see.
I've had this argument. I've done the research. When you look at the most corrupt Black Democrats, they are the one. Cory Booker is not from no island. They're the most corrupt.
It's
and
because they can
look,
sell that they're like
a lot of
Black while
and a lot
also
of
getting
them be hiding it.
Come on, man.
You got to do your research. A lot of them be hiding it. A lot of them only tell you if you
are literally trying to oversimplify the situation.
Tell you where they from. They be hiding it like you be hiding them slums.
It don't even matter because it's having the same effect.
Did you see them slums over there when you was over there?
I saw.
How about this? Let us ask you, like, who would your perfect leader be, like, in terms of having that perfect connection?
FBA, two FBA parents.
You crazy as hell. FBA been selling out to the Democrats from the beginning.
Nah, that's over with.
It's not.
You see, we're not supporting the Democrats like that. You see, that's why they're whining.
You have a whole.
That's why the Democrats are whining about a lot of Black, especially Black men. FBA men did not support the Democrats.
The counterpart of FBA is ADOS, and ADOS is a shill organization for the Democrats.
ADOS,
and they are foundational.
ADOS is defunct.
All right, man. Leonard Roy, go ahead, my brother.
Stop ducking fades.
Doug, I had to push the mute button. It was still on mute. Now, when I chimed in, somebody was talking about Chicago gangs and structure. Chicago gangs have not had any structure of the two mains since 1973 and 1986. So they lost structure in the 90s is garbage. Okay? It's garbage.
Bro, listen, my family, I told this story many times. My aunt left Long Beach when she was 18 years old. She graduated school in like 1972. 18 years old, graduated, got on a bus, moved to Chicago on her own, didn't know nobody from Adam, just some guy, I guess, that she was pen pals with or whatever. She's never came back to Long Beach since this day. Bro, I would hear the stories from my cousins about the stuff that was going on in Chicago. Chicago is a major city. In major cities, the only structure you're going to see in gangs is probably like the mob, the Jews, the Polish people, stuff like that, where there's a hierarchy. In the Black community, it is dog eat dog. Do whatever you want as long as you don't think you're going to get caught. And if you see somebody who got something you ain't got, go after them and get it. There's no structure to this mess. They've been talking about gang structure for years, and the same stuff been taking place for years. If there was structure, you wouldn't have as much murders as you do, because any gang or organization will tell you when you're doing too much murders and stuff, it's bringing too much heat to the neighborhood, which prevents them from doing that they do to get money.
Exactly. Because in 1974, Chicago had 970 murders. We, as little children, we could not go play outside. If I walked to my friend's house down the street, my mother had to stand on the porch and watch, right?
Right.
And vice versa. If my buddy came to my house to play, his mother stood on the porch and watched. Okay? Now you get all these people talking about Chicago gang, this, that, the woo. And I asked them, well, what's Larry Hoover's address? I could tell you because I grew up right down the street from him. Inglewood.
It's romanticizing it, bro.
That's what they doing. That's what they doing.
That's the only thing that's going to stop this mess is exactly what Trump is doing. Coming
exactly.
in and
send the troops in and add out.
100%. That's it. And black folks, you had a chance to fix your community, but you chose not. Wait, hold on. M. Tanakh, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
What up?
So, I read a book back in the day, about 3-4 years ago. It's called Black Metropolis. If you ever heard of this book, it's about Chicago. This book was written in 1945. They was talking about, and it was by a black man, a black sociologist. He was talking about the same things that's going on now in Chicago. Blacks was doing the same thing in Chicago in the 1930s. Prostituting, how black women was passport girls, how the men would come to the city, have sex with them, how black men was killing each other over petty little things. Chicago been having this going on for almost 100 years before the gangs got there. And it's been allowed to go on in Chicago for that long. It's no excuse. Brandon, it's 2025. This stuff been going on since the 1930s. It's almost 100 years.
I mean, you're right, bro. The thing is this: we used these bullshit agreements that we made with the Democrat Party as an excuse to let crime and violence run rampant in our neighborhood. And now we chose not to clean it up. So now the president is taking it upon himself to clean it up, and we're fighting him tooth and nail. Who the hell fights to keep their neighborhood unlivable? These people are literally in a situation where they're scared to go outside. I heard people, I saw a video on a guy, he was in DC. He said, man, for the first time I was able to take my family outside. I was scared to take my kids to see the monuments because it's all types of thugs and hooligans and people down there trying to rob people. Who wants to live like that? And who argues to be allowed to continue to live like that? Go ahead, Ace Boogie. And then we gonna
hold
go
on, Brandon. It's embarrassing as a black man for a white man having to come in and take care of your community. It's embarrassing.
100%. 100%.
So my only question though, B, is this, Brandon. So after the National Guard comes in, what do we do with all the criminals?
Put them in jail.
For how long?
Work.
For as long as they get sentenced to. And I wouldn't be mind putting them in federal prison. So they do 85% of their time.
Do we know right now the Cook County justice system, which services Chicago, has an extreme backlog. So now that's my only thing. I need a full scope. I need a full plan.
Listen. Let me tell you something. This is not even so much about what we're gonna do with the community. And you got another person, Fred, nothing's gonna change. That's black people attitude with everything. Nothing changes until it does. You don't know something can change until it changes. But this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna show people that there is a better way of living. Do you think the people of Washington, D.C. are going to easily let their city go back into the hands of criminals once they had a taste of freedom? Damn, you mean to tell me we could live without getting shot at every day? When they go to the voting booth next time, there's a significant portion of them who are going to say, you know what? I like what them Republicans was doing, which I don't think they even voted for nothing. But they're going to say, I remember when President Trump brought the National Guard into D.C. Ooh, we was able to play outside till 11 o'clock at night. We had peace for 2 or 3 weeks. You got to show people what could be. Because I'm telling you, in these inner cities, a lot of these people have never experienced a night where they haven't heard gunshots. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all.
I got a friend right now. She's living in Chicago. She said, man, I'm trying to move back to the city. I said, why? She said, I'm tired of hearing gunshots every night. I said, but you love Chicago because it's a black Mecca and all this shit. She said, yeah, but I got a kid to raise. She was like, and I know if I move back to Long Beach, if I move down there in Belmont, if I move over there to Bixby Knolls, if I move over there to Lakewood, I ain't got to deal with this crap. Once your people experience something better, it's going to be hard to take it away from them. They'll damn near be out there fighting with the criminals, getting rid of the fools. Like, nah, I like my kids being able to play outside safely. Why do you think white neighborhoods are nicer than black neighborhoods? Because white people are used to living in nice shit. They like anything else, they refuse to live in it. Go ahead, Ace, but you had anything else? Oh, he fell off. Go ahead, Administrator.
Yo, man, I think at this point, what needs to happen is like us middle-aged black men, black women, we went to college, we got a trade, we did all that, we working, we doing something, decent. We got to start we got to organize. We need to create organizations and give these skills back to the community. Like there's really no other way around it. I mean, you can sit there and smirk all you want, but I see why Chicago the way it is.
I'm from Chicago. I'm from Inglewood, where they throw them pitchforks up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to Chicago in a box to get buried in a Chicago cemetery.
I mean, you can teach them things over Zoom or something, bro. Like we need to organize and get with we need to organize and organize with the local governments.
I'm only responsible for my own.
Right, exactly. That's exactly it. I understand. We gotta survive out here. We all got family in Chicago, bro. Like, I get it.
Two things could be true because the beauty of the internet and technology is you don't even gotta actually physically go to Chicago to give back. You can teach coding, all this type of stuff. And I really think that
Leonard, what skills have you picked up over the course of your life?
Say again?
What skills have you picked up over the course of your life?
There's not enough time that he's going to be online for me to just go through my whole entire resume.
I ain't saying what your resume is. I'm just saying, what's your trade? What's your trade?
Is my skill set.
What's your trade? Because, like, bro, these kids out here don't know what the hell is out here, bro.
Wait a minute.
I don't have a trade. I'm retired.
Didn't your situation start with the military?
Yes.
See,
and these kids ain't got no discipline.
Hold on. Let if I may. Okay. I've done telecommunications. I've done military. I've written a book. I've done sound engineering. I've been a DJ.
You got so much to offer.
Excuse me, if I can finish. I did everything the right way, as many of those that grew up with me, they didn't, okay? So that's on them. I'm not my brother's keeper, all right? No one has to tell you, you don't throw a brick at your mama. You are born knowing this. So they know right from wrong, and I'm not, no. And the main reason I did the military thing, from the get-go gate is because I come from a Chicago police family, and I'd be damn if I was going to be a Chicago police officer dealing with those Wakandans and Chirac on the daily basis and get stressed out and end up dying from hypertension or something.
I believe that we
related
should
to
be available for
stress dealing
those that want out. No one's
Wakanda.
saying go and force them into classes and stuff like that.
Say
But
again?
there are people that are looking for a way out, man. And I'm just saying, like, if we can
Well, they
organize
better look
what we
harder.
know. You said what?
They better look harder. Don't ask me.
Right? Yeah, man. We all you that type, man. We all know. We all got that type.
But
I
let me
get it,
tell you
man.
something.
We got that.
But let me
Oh,
tell you
got
something.
that type.
But let me say,
Yeah, you're a type.
let me say
Yeah,
this,
I'm
guys.
that type. Yeah, I'm the
There are
type that.
people.
Yeah.
Listen,
Go.
there are
I'm
people
sorry.
who respond to different things. There's somebody who's going to respond to the way Hakeem is presenting it. There are people going to respond to the way Leonard is going to present it. I am a person who is like Leonard. My family, you already know, they're just crazy as hell. I just said, look, well, on one side, had some good role models, but I had to say, look, man, I ain't trying to be a casualty. I ain't trying to be a statistic sitting up in nobody's jail cell. So I'm gonna just get it together. And Leonard is right. Nobody has to tell you not to throw a brick at your mama. But Hakeem is also right, because there are people, I would say my brother is more like that, where if you teach bro something, he'll grab a hold to it and he'll take it as far as it'll carry him, right? He's a little bit more like, he needs a little bit more direction. Some people can just get it on their own if they're given the opportunity to, or figure it out on their own. But I think that there's space in this situation for both schools of thought. And I think Hakeem, because he's more in the technical field, technical world, or technological world, he sees it like, you give people information. Information equals freedom. Skills.
I mean, yeah, I feel like there's also like a gap in service to the community, because when you look at these organizations now, they're ran by the people that started them, and they're like 90 years old, and there's no young people in there to take them over. We had services in the community and things like that. While things were bad, there were options. There was ways out. You know what I mean? But we are taking this approach now where it's just like, hey, I got to survive. I got to look out for my own. Like, I get that. But now that we out there in our little comfortable spot, like, we can do something to those that want something. We ain't saying save everybody.
Live comfortably. That's what I do.
I would say, like, I honestly, I'm on the side of Leonard, just because I agree, administrator, that like organizing is important, community services is important, but I think ultimately, even getting back on topic with Trump and the National Guard,
Trump's organizing.
Like once the community becomes a little bit safer, I feel like what the most important thing has to be the nuclear family unit, because even like in Leonard's example, like he had a father to look up to that was a police officer. He was able to get out.
My older, to be correct, my older brothers. My dad, he passed away when I was 3 years old.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
But no, it's all good. But I had my older brothers to give me what our father gave them.
Right.
See.
Yeah, and that's really what I was trying to say. It's like
right.
Having
I
that
get it.
father
I just
figure
want to
and that
let
mother
you know.
figure.
Right. And if we could help some people get some skills to make a living, they can start their nuclear families, bro. Like,
but it's not as easy as like giving people skills.
Obviously, organizing is not easy, but you got to do it. But that's the thing. Like, we got a lazy ass mindset, bro, while everybody else is out lapping us.
Yeah, well, from all of the doggone go back to the neighborhood stuff that I put out there trying to convince people to go to the military, do you know it only worked with one person? Just one. And she's in West Point right now. She's in her second year of West Point.
That's amazing.
She's going to go in as an officer, okay? And she is from Inglewood, the same neighborhood I'm from. She is the first person in the 113 years of the high school she went to actually get into West Point with her GPA being as high as it was. And that doesn't happen all the time. And I am so proud of her. I'm like, oh my God.
And I hope she could be an inspiration to 2 more people that end up getting the West Point from there. And then they could be an inspiration to 5. Like,
yeah, I mean, I hope that I could doggone, catch Tiffany Henry on an off night and do the you dig, right? She can't touch me though, because she a hood rat. But, she got a fatty though.
I agree with you.
But we got to get out this
trying to say-
mindset of every man for himself, though. Like as a
No, we
community, we
don't.
have to.
I don't think
A
that
wise
because
man once said, every man for themselves and God for all.
No,
That was
let
a
me tell
wise
you this.
man that said that.
Let me tell you this. I don't think we need to get off the every man for himself mindset, because we've been trying to do the fake community mindset for like 30 years, 40 years, and it's not working.
70 years.
70 years, right? I always tell people this. When you look at any dominant group, like let's say white folks, right? White people were able to get a lot of what they have now, basically take over the globe, because of individual efforts, a bunch of individual efforts. When these white folks got to America, they didn't say, let's all make a group and let's go across the United States and take out Indians. No, bro. They said, look, go out west, whatever you can keep, you can have. And then white folks in a shack, little house on the prairie, in the middle of nowhere, not another soul for 20, 30 miles around them, fighting Indians, dealing with the elements, hunting animals,
Is
all that.
uncool?
And listen, it was so many of them, like roaches, that they dominated the United States in less than 100 years because of a bunch of because of a bunch of individual efforts. All you need black people to do is you need to give them something to go towards collectively, right? We don't all got to go together, but everyone needs like a North Star. And that's what these other communities are doing. If you look at an Indian, he like, yo, I'm going into tech. If you talk to a Somali in Africa, in Kenya, bro, like, I'm about to go to Minnesota and become a truck driver.
You can't get young black people in school though. That's the problem. They got
it
the
don't always
YN
gotta
culture.
be school though.
Yes,
It
it
don't always gotta
does.
be
You
school.
need
No,
the
it does not.
trades. I mean,
Bro,
you need some sort of education. You do. You need some sort
Bro.
of formal education, bro. There's
Bro,
no
you
way.
have Indians. Listen, bro, you have Indians moving to America to work in call centers, bro. Centers.
I mean, yeah, you still have low
But then it's also,
so I can speak about it a little bit, but like
right.
So just to
But they-
clarify, so
Go
I'm
ahead.
not part of this, but like my family's like South Indian, but so North Indians in the early 80s actually, they came here on refugee status, and they pretty much ended up accumulating all those rinky-dink hotels, motel chains, like the Days Inn, 7-Eleven type of hotel chains.
Right.
They pretty much like put all their cousins and their family members, their sisters, all from India to come in, work in the hotel chain, and they pretty much like replace the domestic American talent that's like your housekeeper or the one at the front desk with their own people.
And they did that no matter how psychotic their people were.
And that's a prime example
they
of
kept doing that over time. Like that's how, like, especially like we see it personally, because like we're South Indian, like we see it right in front of our eyes. Like they have more wealth now in America, while my dad and like all the other South Indians here, like we're pretty much living off of our like tech paycheck, while they have like assets like hotels.
But that's a prime example of not saying one man for himself, though. You know what I'm saying? He got his family.
No.
Everything he just said, I assure you, is some education in that family as well.
100%,
It's a lawyer.
yeah, 100%.
It's somebody that know how to deal with that money. Everybody's not a worker. That's what I'm saying.
I'd even say this.
Listen. Yeah. If you go to the hotel, the daddy working there, the whole family going there. The dad didn't go to Harvard and then go work at a home motel. They just learned the business.
They might have went to a state school, Brandon. They might have went to a state school.
Black folks love giving these folks their money because they think that's the path to be successful.
A lot of schoolers paid for it, bro. Everybody ain't paying. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, you have to look at what's going on around you. Look at all these black women getting laid off from these jobs who thought education was the key. It's my salvation. Now
You know what
they're
they were
crying in
missing
their
with the education? Education with no family doesn't mean anything. A single
Yeah.
black woman with
Oh,
kids, that doesn't mean anything. They
look,
don't. You need a man. They can't tell a black
look,
woman they need a
Brandon.
man though.
Look,
That's all.
Brandon. The thing is this, okay? It's safe to say I'm the oldest person on here. Now,
Maybe.
my parents are the ones that fought for us to be able to go to schools
Thank you.
and
Thank
get
you.
an education, right?
Have
But
an
what
option.
happened?
They have an option. Not even
Let,
school. You can
let
have
No,
him
an option.
let him
can I
finish.
finish?
Let him
Can
finish.
I can I finish? What happened? They didn't want to go to school. They too cool to go to school.
That's what
Only
I said.
squares go to school.
That's what I said.
Too busy paying child support.
No,
Then
too busy
no, this
being
ain't
a
got nothing to do with
YN. Too
child
busy being
support.
a
Child support
YN.
didn't become an issue until the mid 70s. I'm
Right.
talking about I was born in the early 60s, okay? Now, this is what was going on with that. And I can tell you all exactly what happened. When you had 1974 and they had the free credit, you can get credit without the man's signature. You had women that could apply for credit without getting a husband or their father, whatever, male signature to approve it for them. That's when they really got independent and started on that. I don't need your to da 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 and all this educated black woman syndrome, as I call it, or whatever you want to call it.
Strong black woman syndrome.
Yeah. Now they realize that since 300,000 of them have been fired from their jobs since April. Now, well, hold on, baby. You didn't want to date the dude that worked at doggone
Oh
Tires
no.
Plus. You didn't
CTA.
want to date him that was a doggone
Bus driver.
mechanic that actually went to school. You didn't want to date the truck driver. You didn't
Nope.
want to date the dude that drove a city bus in whatever city, which they pay quite nice.
They pay great.
Garbage men and your
$30 an
ask
hour.
the garbage men in
$30
a
an hour.
urban in a big city what they make and they're union
Well, it
scale
sounds like he
too.
agreeing with you, Bear Down.
Whoo, they making money. They didn't want to date the army man, the soldier to this that comes out that don't have to put any money down on a house, and depending on how everything went, they're like me. They don't pay property taxes at all.
But it's psychological training too. They were told not to like that though.
Bruh. I'm not
Hey,
getting into
hey,
all the
hey,
psychological training. Look,
I'm just saying
poetic
that's
hold,
part of
Flacco,
hold,
it.
hold, hold on,
poetic
hold on,
Flacco can
hold
shut his
on,
bitch ass up.
hold on. I'm about to land my plane.
Go ahead.
You don't have to tell me. You can't psychologically train me that a woman that is 4'2" has better nookie than a woman that's 6'5". Good nookie is good nookie. I'm gonna experience it and I'm gonna know what I gotta get.
Okay.
So you can't brainwash me. Come on,
It's
let's
that
just be
Gen X
real.
nihilistic chase pussy all day shit. Come on now.
No, it's not that. I'm using that as an example because I think that
Hey,
we're all a
you
bunch of
you
hetero.
you
I
enjoying
think that
retirement, huh?
no. I think that we're all heterosexual men, and I think we can
He
relate
freaked
to
out
the
and drunk over
quality
there.
of womb.
All
I
right,
think
guys.
we can relate to that.
Look, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start closing out because we got an hour and a half limit on this. We got about 3 minutes left, so we're gonna go one by one. Give everybody 1 minute to drop their final thoughts, and then we're gonna be out of here. Guys, don't leave. Stay for all the final thoughts, and I have to read the last super chats. So if you got a super chat or idea that you want to share, drop it now in the super chat so I can read it off at the end. Let's go. We'll start with Bear Down. Let's go start with him since he got. Actually, let's let Bear Down go last so he can take as much time as you want because he didn't get as much talk time. Let's start with Ace Boogie. Go ahead, Ace Boogie. 1 minute.
Yo, I'm gonna be real quick with it, man. Hey, I appreciate you fellas, man. Really, it's good to dialect with some black men. Some good dialect too. And hey, we just gotta wake up as a people and get unity, man. I know Leonard think otherwise, but hey, respect to everybody on this. And hey, peace and love, y'all.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Go ahead, P Sizzle.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Brandon. My whole point is just you need more strong males, and males that are like with their women, have children, and like raise them. I agree with y'all about the education component, about the go with the factory workers, go with the truck drivers, don't go with the YNs. Like I fully on board with that. I would just say embrace like the division. Like don't like hate each other because of it. Like I know you see a lot of people online hating Brandon a lot about him being like conservative or FBNA, etc. But we come back and listen to him all the time because of the stuff he says. So just like keep the conversation going, vote on both party lines, and think independently. That's really all I wanted to say. And thanks, Brandon.
Thank you so much, Pieces. I appreciate that. Yeah, they do hate me for my views. What I hate is when they hate me for my political views, but they try to make it seem like it's about something else, you know? Even when I was dealing with that crazy meth head, he was like, "Oh, you're probably a Republican." I was like, "Bro, we over here supposed to be scrapping, and you talking about my political views? It should be crazy, man. What people say, how they expose
Dojo
themselves.
politics.
Man, that shit was so nuts. I said, "Oh my god, bro, didn't put on that
Garage Dojo.
Go ahead, administrator."
Man, I'll just say, hey, those that want to organize and do something, let's do it. Those that don't, just stay out of the way. Really, just stay out of the way. I am glad that this channel is starting to rub shoulders with the depraved, because being able to read Poetic Flacco saying like we're too old to be talking like this and it's bad content. You know, if we made positive change, Flacco wouldn't be able to pay rent, and that says a lot. So this is a real. I feel like this is a major moment in our community where we have another choice, and we got the salesman telling us to go one way. You got me telling you to go another. I mean, the choice is y'all's. How do y'all want to live? How do y'all want to see yourselves represented? Y'all want Flacco telling our story, or do we want to tell our story? And that's all I'm saying.
Hey, man. I mean, at the end of the day, life is not all about content. Flacco, drop $100 donation, man, to the channel.
You can do it, Flacco. Drop about 4 of them. You get it.
Man, Flacco balling. Flacco be giving hood rats $5,000 and all types of stuff.
Right. Instead of flying somebody out, donate to the channel, Flacco.
He be blessing people with 5 bands. I'm like, bless your boy. All right, we got Bear Leonard. Go ahead, my brother. 1 minute.
Oh, okay. 1 minute, 60 seconds. Well, you know what? I'm living proof you can be a high school dropout that went back to high school 2 years later to get your high school diploma because you were going to do the military, take that option, and you went in, you got out, you got into doggone security. Things went left, you got back in, you got out again, you got into telecommunications. The bottom fell out of that. Then you went back in during the war on terror. You did 8 years and you ended up retiring, just sitting on your ass at 48 years old. And in the process of, you ended up with this kind of FICO score. See, that's what you ended up with right there, because you know how to check a buck just like you know how to check a biatch.
You a success story, bro.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you don't have to be doggone college educated. All you have to do is be able to pass the common sense test. And you got a lot of people that I call educated dummies, okay? Educated dummies. They can't pass the common sense test, but they have a law degree. Hello.
Hey, man, listen, Leonard Roy with the 800 credit score, which is wild. All right, thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Bear down. It's your time to shine, my brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I caught the show late, but y'all was talking about Chicago. I left Chicago about what, 2006? Best decision I ever made.
My man.
Best decision I ever made. I stay about an hour and a half away, but that inner city, they need to see something else than the Chicago police. They don't respect them fools. They don't respect it. They're gonna keep shooting and keep killing until you do something. And they might keep shooting and killing at the. I want to see if they really go in there and enforce what that's gonna look like, because they're gonna keep shooting. They're mentally, what do you say, Brandon? Repugnant or depraved or whatever. They're 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 out their minds. So I just hope they can get it right, because the city is in $1 billion deficit. They might file for bankruptcy as a city like Detroit did. So I don't really know what the future of Chicago is going to be with these idiots, but I just pray for everybody. I hope they make it.
Look at that T-shirt, Brandon.
Chicago. What does it say?
What's understood need
Don't need to
not
be
to be
explained.
explained.
But go Bears though. The Bears might do something this year. That'll be the
Man,
shining
the
light.
Bears ain't doggone did nothing
Man,
since 1986.
Caleb Williams, man, we got Caleb. Come on now.
Man, shoot,
One person.
man.
Come on now. Come
What the
on.
rest of them gonna do? But hey, man, let me get
Exactly.
this last super chat real quick. Thank you so much, Bear Down. I appreciate that. Shout out to my boy MJ for the $10 holler. Hold this 10 for leaving that no jumper BS and getting back on business. Good to see the big homie Leonard. Leonard is back in the building with us. It's good to have everybody in the fold once again. We had a great topic. Y'all did not disappoint. Y'all showed up and showed out. Thank you to everyone for watching this content. I appreciate everything you do for me and this channel. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.